Hi, this is Roman again, and we continue modeling parametric canopy. So last step was number 5. We were trying to establish these supports along the lengths of the canopy, and we were able to do that, but we need a slight offset, not only here but also in here. So we just need to add another number which will go to offset y, but instead of being it 1, we will change this number now. Let's see. So this will be 0.01. I think the value needs to be 0.06. If no, that's incorrect. Oh yeah, that's the thing. It was set to be 0.06, but with negative, so it doesn't matter which direction. I think we set it up, but in my original I said that was negative. Let's actually put that negative just in case. Shouldn't matter, but I would prefer to follow my notes. So this was this is now good. It's proportionally all right, and let's include these two nodes into group, because right now you see if I move this group, these two are not moving. So we need to add both of them to group step 5. All right, that was step 5. Let's go to step number 6. It will be front clip angle this time. So front clip angle is, I want to show it to you on that shop drawing here. So we are talking about this particular element here. It's called exterior aluminum front clip angle. And I already made an object. So I will just copy my section support angle profile here, select that clip angle, which is here, front clip angle. Actually, not the profile, because I think I did it originally, but then I wanted to make it even more detailed, so I modeled this bolt. So yeah, it's not gonna be the section profile. Instead, it's gonna be, this time we will first use for the first time the GDL object, right? So we can have different shapes, we can have profiles, and we can also even bring a GDL object inside our environment of Paramo. So double click on it, and what we need to do is just select this chair icon here and click here, and we have a list of all the objects. So obviously we need to type. I will just type front clip angle, and here it is. Select that and say OK, and here it is. Here's that clip angle. So again, we just need to orient it, rotate it, and place that accordingly in all of the settings to this transformation input. So there will be not enough of one input, so as always I'll just bring combination, plug that in here, and we'll just follow my nodes. So what I see is that I have a rotation Z as the first one, and the angle will be 270, I think, because this is actually wrong. It must be flipped, it must be mirrored. So I would set this to 270. And this is now correct orientation. Then I need another node, and I need to multiply it. So I need, maybe you can see it from below. I need to bring that exact same node line points from here to distribute my object along the canopy. So that line points will, as normally, connect to move by a vector, and then that will be plugged into transformation 2. Now my line points, for that I need a point. Point will be connected to end point, and we just need we need count, and the count will be the same exact node, which is here, number of supports, because that will be linked to the number of these supports, right? As many we want to change the supports, and then we want to make sure that that front clip angle is also going to be followed by that number of supports here, by that count. So I will plug that into here. I still don't see, nothing is happening because I still need to plug in the lengths of my canopy into X. So if I do go back to canopy overall lengths, and you see the script is getting bigger and bigger, so you can get overwhelmed a little bit, but I will connect it to X. Let's see. If I zoom out, okay, so what's happening now, it's just it's not really distributing these elements as I would expect, and I just figured that out. It's because it's not X, it's actually Y. Yes, but not only that, it needs again the negative, right? Because it spreads them, it distributes them into the wrong direction. So I'll just type negative, connect that to a negative first. Actually, hold on. I think I can go from the point to negative, and no, this is incorrect. No, I did it right. So first I plug that into negative, and then I plug that into Y. And here it is. Here are my angles. I mean the clip angles. They are still at the bottom here, but we already see that they are distributed. Now we not only need to do that, we also need to adjust them in a similar manner as we did with this support. And what does that mean? I need to use a subtraction again. So I would type subtraction, right? Because we're giving the full length, but we need to move it slightly, and that slightly is actually this exact same number, 0.2. So I would again unplug this canopy length from here and plug that into A, and then plug this number into B, and then only plug that into negative, and finally into point. So as you can see now, it's changed its direction. But with the step 5 group, we also did move that later as well, a little bit. So we need to do that as well. But let me see. So let's move that a little bit. Let's move it up a little bit because it's kind of hard to see these clip angles. I would do move, and then let's do number. I will change it to maybe 0.10 and change the step to 0.01, plug that into Z, and finally move it here. And now, as you can see, if I move up, if I increase the number, it finally starts to increase that clip angle. So I just want to make sure it sits on the correct height, something like this. So this is good. Now we just need to make sure we distribute it correctly. Again, this subtraction, that's correct because it has exact same subtraction as here. It's just that we need to add another subtraction to kind of another offset from this front point. I'm trying to find out where that is. So it's, I think it's here, offset Y, and I'll type number, plug that into Y, and yes, it's correct. It's just that this number is too big. To change this step again, let's do 0.10 for now. All right. So it changes. I can set this to minus 0.6, and now it aligned with our supports. So that's good. So now we're just going to test it. If I change the size of my canopy, if I change the length, as you can see, it all works just fine. And the only thing is that we need to move these clip angles by some distance from the front towards the back of the canopy. Well, that's why there's this X offset here, right? So we can type some number and plug that in, and it will do that for us. But the thing is, again, it will be just manual, right? If I would change the depths, the clip angle stays the same in the same position because they're just controlled here. But we want it to be parametric. So what we need to do, well, we need to set up a connection between this depth of the canopy and the location of these angles, clip angles. So we need to connect the depth, which is up high here, and I can bring it down just so it's easier temporarily. So if I connect the depth to X, well, that will just simply move it there. Means now it is parametric in terms of it follows the depths, right? But it's not enough. We need to set it up in the manner that there's some particular distance from that overall depth. Well, we could maybe, use the math function, maybe like subtraction, and maybe say, okay, we need this full depth by minus some particular number, I don't know, 1, and then plug that into this, or maybe like a 0.5. So now if I change the depth, it always kind of 0.5 from here. But if you look at this shop drawings, it says that the distance between the face of the wall and the center of this clip angle is approximately 2/3 of the projection of the overall canopy projection, right? So we need to make sure it works exactly in that same manner. So what I found how that could work is that I did, instead of using subtraction, I actually used division function. So I took the overall length, overall depth of that canopy, and divided by this particular number, which is 3.6, and that actually gives me, let me delete this, that distance. So now if I change the settings, it will always be there, but it's not really 2/3 as I think in my original design. I would have to check that, but really we can modify this number to wherever, and yeah, this is, let's change the step to 1. Let's change this value to 3.6. Let's go back to 3.6 for right now, and leave it, and then go back to it later. We will then draw a section in ArchiCAD and just check that distance, but I'm pretty sure it was, maybe later we will add some more to it, and it will go back to the correct size. But yeah, that's what I would use for now. So if I would increase its depth, you see it changes parametrically, so that's good. Let's just combine this all into one group and call it step 6. So I would say create new group, step 6. We're just going to call it front clip angle, and from there we can move on to the next step, which is step 7. And again, we will finish with all the steps, and then we will adjust some of these issues, like this angle is visible here, or here the deck is visible. So we're gonna clean this and make it look even better. But let's first model all the rest of the components. Now we need to model the rear clip angle now. So for that one, I also have the object. So at the bottom here in the menu, I'll drag this object here and select it from here. So it's called rear clip angle, and as you can see, I even have 2 of them. I think I modeled that one and then decided to make it even better, so I updated it with the other name. I think that is the one I want to use. So for some reason it didn't show up. Oh, not set. Let's try again. So rear clip angle, did I select that? Okay, yeah, now it is selected, and here it is. So it's this rear clip angle that we can see in here, right here. By the way, on this booklet, there's like a little section, 3D section. So this is what it is. It's a little bit wider. It actually has 12 inches. I decided to make it slightly narrower just because there are different angles. They're like in the center one, you have this wider that has 12 inches, but then at the side, at the corner here, you have the smaller one. So I just didn't, I think I didn't find enough of tools here to be able to control which exact I want it to be what. like compared to Grasshopper 3D, I think you have much more functionality there, versus here it's more limited. So I just made it a little narrower so it will fit in for all of the supports, including the corner ones, because if I would use the wider, it will just be outside the canopy. All right, so that's that. Now again, we need a combination. We will plug that into transformation and go from there. So we need to plug in, we need to rotate it first. So I'll do rotation, I need rotation Z this time. I will plug that into transformation. We move it back a little bit. The angle needs to be 270 per my notes. So I would say 270. That's about right. And then I need to also move it, of course. So let's move it. We have offset X, Y, and Z. This X will be, what I'm seeing is actually a subtraction from a number. But let's first move it up by Z. So number, this should be 0.14. Set this for Z, and we'll include that into the transformation 2, I think. Yes, okay, so it jumped up a little bit. Yeah, we can see it here. It's just one element for right now. But it is at the correct height. We would have to multiply it in a bit. So also I see I have another number for Y, which is actually negative. I'll do negative to Y, and I will change this to 0.05 as I see. Now let's just add, yeah, cannot see that object after I plug that in. Is it there? Or it's on that side? Oh, it's actually here. Yeah, it's still here. So let's plug that in. All right, yeah, it's right there. So now it's set in a line with this support. Now let's go to line points again. So we need to multiply it, right? So I'll go to line points, and then I need move by vector. So that will go to, let's see, I did connect it to my third transformation. Let's move this down a little bit. And for my points, again, I need to connect a point. I need to connect it to end, and the X, actually the Y, will be negative. I'm just following right now the notes what I have, and then for that negative, I have a subtraction, and that subtraction will be, again, similarly to previous, to step 5. I think we had that number. So we need the overall lengths to be, where is my, yeah, that's overall depths. I instantly include that into group. Let me exclude it from the group. That's overall depths, but I need overall lengths. So that's here. I'll move it down. Connect it to A, and connect the number, which is, I think it's this number here, which is that offset that we had for both support angles and clip angles. I will connect it to B. And now the last step I need is obviously the count, right? Which is by default, it's set to be 10. That's why we're seeing 10 of them. But we need to use that global number of supports, this exact node here, and just connect it to count. And we now have our rear angles nicely set. It's just the last step. We need to adjust them to move them so they set to the back, the rear of that canopy. And how do we do that? Let me see. Yeah, I only had one combination with 3 inputs. What I'm seeing, we already used, for the X offset here, we need to plug in the overall depths, right? Which is right here. So that way we're gonna move these, all of them, to the rear side. But we actually need, you see, it moved that to the rear, but it starts at this point and just move it even more towards the rear side, which is not what we need. So we need to subtract from that depth some number, which is actually 0.05. So let me go back. So I will double click, I'll say subtraction, and looks like I already have 0.05, so I can plug that in to B, and I will unplug the overall depth from X, plug into A. Well, obviously all the clips will go back because that's not set yet, but now if I would plug that back to offset X, as you can see, that's how we can control with this variable. And well, the step is set to be 0.5, that's why it's jumped so fast. But if I would change it to 0.01, then now you see I can move this even more if I want, but I know that 0.5 it's that what I need. Now we got not only supports and the front clips, we also got these rear angles. That was the real clip angle in the step 7, right? What we did. Let's just test it quickly. As you can see, I'm changing this geometry and it's nicely moving. So what I would do is I would also double check the number of supports here. This is 5. Well, it can be set to 4. See, wherever number, it will always be parametric. So this is all right. This was step number 7. Let me connect this all into a group, and I will name it again. That we just did step 7. So step 7, rear clip angle. That's great. Let's do a quick break and continue with the rest of the steps in the next video. Thank you.